with that. If I had a girlfriend, she'd kill me.
Very
Probably.
nice.
If I had a girlfriend, she'd dump me. Aw.
No.
Now I made myself feel sad.
Aw.
Well, you don't need her
that's
anyway.
our
To hell with 'em.
job.
Yeah.
All right. So, any questions before we get started?
We should be live. Hopefully.
Is that a question?
Yes, it was, Piph. Yes, it was.
It sounded like it was.
Are we live?
It was a question.
Yes, we are live. Okay.
Can I get some feedback? Yes.
I think we're ready to go. So.
All right. So no questions. All right, then we'll just go ahead and get started. So, when last we left, we were a bit divided as a group. Some people had gone shopping. Isaac was having a training bout and getting to know Indigo.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucas was trying to take Sarah's mind off of things, and Talavac was watching the hate crime of his people.
Lovely.
On his people.
Lovely.
It's very, very different. On his people, not of his people.
It doesn't matter. It's all a travesty. So
Yes, it
Yeah.
was pretty not for the faint of heart. And Xavier, I believe Xavier was shopping because he ran into Hart. So Xavier, is it
Yes,
was Xavier
I
still
got
kind
a
of just
big
out?
ass fuck off gun. Yes.
Mhm. So we'll go ahead and pick up where we left off. There are a couple of things to go. First things first. I believe Isaac had an interaction he wanted to do. So.
Yes, I do believe I did. So, going back to the scene, Isaac was just finished listening to the kind of personal story that Indigo had told him. So he will pipe up and say, "Well, since you shared something personal, I will too. As you know, since we were at my hometown before, I grew up on Earth, and I never knew my mother or my father. My grandpa was the only person to raise me, and ever since I was a little boy, he said that my father was dead, and that I had taken my mother in childbirth. Kind of held a grudge to me, but he trained me from a little kid to protect myself, to hunt the unclean, the vampires, as we know them. But later on in life, about a year ago or so, on his deathbed, he admitted to me that he had lied for my entire life. That my father should still be alive. That he left to the frontier or something through a portal with a shifter. So that's why I'm here. The main reason why I am interested in trying to make sure that we get this settled, that we get this rift or whatever it is sealed, rift in time, whatever, is because supposedly Cyber 6 has information on my father. In fact, you might know him. His name is...
She nods slowly.
Give me a second, I'm looking at my note. His name is Delum Tubbers.
She nods slowly and she says, "I know of him. Yes. As far as I understand it, from what Cyber told me, he's not planning on just giving you information, but, well, doing what he can to help find him. But I think it's my duty to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I ever heard about your father while he was with the Corsairs, he was kind, skilled, smart, everything a Corsair needs to be, and incredibly effective, but he went rogue. I know you can't understand what that means, but when a Corsair, when they betray the trust like that, when they go rogue, there is nothing worse than that. He will be hunted down sooner or later. I don't want to upset you, but you deserve to know. Maybe he had his reasons, who can say, but you don't go rogue. It's just not done well, not often.
Then I guess it'll have to be a race between me finding him and you guys finding him.
She she shrugs and she says, "Well, at least you don't have to worry about it being literally us that finds him. I don't know the details, but Corsairs like us aren't sent after rogue Corsairs. I don't know who goes after them, but I do know enough to know that such things are meant to be kept low profile. You don't want to add embarrassment on top of everything else. So regular Corsair units like us, we get the high profile, above the line jobs, as it were. But yes, someone out there will look for him eventually, if the bounty's high enough or they want him bad enough.
Okay.
She pauses for a moment and then she says, I heard about the disagreement earlier.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's the reason why I'm here. I'm hoping to offer my services like we promised beforehand. And hopefully patch things up.
She nods and she says, I know Simmons can be a bit uncaring, and the big one, he can get overexcited when it comes to getting the job done. He's very neat, if you understand what I mean. But they mean well. At least I think they mean well.
Yeah. Some of our crewmates are really quirky, I guess you can say.
She nods and she says, well, okay, how can we... Look, we need your help, and more importantly, we need to fix this mess. So how do we work with your crew?
Well, I think that Xavier's willing to work with each other. I think the problem was the fact that we didn't have enough beds for all of you guys. And so he just got fed up with the entire situation because he thinks that we just got off vacation and are thrusted immediately into another big, huge, dangerous thing. Which is fair.
She nods.
But there is such a thing as tact. So
she nods again. She says, well, it wouldn't be the first man I've dealt with that has a hot temper, but we could be having to watch each other's backs. He needs to be able to trust that we can do that.
I think he'll be able to trust you guys. If not, I'll try and convince him.
She nods again.
My character's ears are burning.
I was thinking about that the entire time. Just like, I wonder if Lucas is lighting somebody's ears on fire.
Yeah, I know, right? I can only
I know. I'm
yeah.
just teasing. I'm just teasing.
And Indigo says, and I'll I'll talk to Simmons and I'll see if Onegas will lay off on the paperwork. Though he does have a point. You guys have some really nasty people coming after you. It might be nice to have a... Well, you seem like the type of group that likes to handle things on your own, but having a... What's the saying? An ace in the hole?
Yeah.
She shrugs. It's up to you, though. I'll try and get him to lay off. It's not worth messing with the integrity of the group.
As a side note, remember our last ace in the hole? We started a war with it.
Yeah, you did. But if you're gonna use an ace in the hole, that's how you do it.
I guess.
In my opinion.
I think Lucas brings up a very good point. And by Lucas, I mean Piph.
Righteous goody two-shoes my ass.
With that, she says, she stands up and she stretches and she says, well, I should probably hit the shower. Got a big day tomorrow. From what I understand, some of us are going hunting vampires and others are going to look for that artifact.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I guess I'll just wait for the rest of the guys here, because they were supposed to meet me here, so I can apologize to them. But I did get a few supplies for all of you guys. Namely Globe of Daylight flares. Really, really useful.
She looks at it. Her eyes widen a little bit, and she says, well, that was very thoughtful of you.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think you have to go through the embarrassment of apologizing. I can smooth things over. So don't worry about that. And I appreciate this. It'll probably be handy.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Here,
she starts to...
I got enough for all of you guys. Why don't I just... Is there, like, a dining room area or somewhere that I can just set all of these stuff up on a table?
Yeah, she'll show you. It's not a dining room area, but it is a room with a few tables and chairs in it and a lot of open space. So she'll direct you there and kind of help you put everything out and go over what you got them.
Mm-hmm. And if she's willing to listen, because I think this is moving towards him leaving, right?
Right, but yeah, she'll listen intently to anything.
Okay.
Like if you're asking like he's going to explain how to use them and all that.
Yeah, along with how to deal with vampires and that kind of thing. Okay.
Sure. She'll listen intently to everything Isaac has to say in that regard.
Okay.
Then she will say, as you're going, she'll kind of pause and she'll say, Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the people we work with who also happen to be good at, well, doing what we do, tend to be harsh individuals. Thanks for not being one of them.
No problem.
And with that, she'll close the door.
Mm-hmm. And Isaac will head back to the ship.
All right. I have a real quick thing. So Lucas is still on the ship with Sarah, right?
It depends, mainly because
Okay.
the last time I remember, he was trying to get some crosses.
Oh, that's right. He had left Sarah on the ship looking for crosses. That is correct, sir. Well, we can pick back up. Actually, I believe he was trying to get some cats and gerbils.
Yes.
All right. We can pick up where you left off. So animals are not going to be hard to find on Center. In fact, if you wanted to take a few days, you could probably find enough strays. They are that numerous, even up here on the market level. And you notice, especially since you had that Gallivant down on level 6, that the number of stray, not necessarily cats, but certainly stray pets and animals is very numerous.
He almost gets into the animal store and stops himself. He gets a mischievous grin on and spins himself around and goes to a lower level.
Oh no. All right. Let's do this way. Okay, let me ask this first. In your collection of animals, is there any magic you would like to employ, or is this mostly a skill thing?
He's going to be using a lot of things. He's going to be definitely using magic.
Uh-huh.
Yes, definitely magic. And he's going to employ quite a few different techniques. First things first, he's going to, because he just feels he wants this to happen, and it's something that he always dreamt of doing. He's going to try to Pied Piper the gerbils.
Okay.
Oh, God, I'm so glad I'm shopping for a gun because I'd shoot them all if I came back with it.
Okay. Do you have any spells that involve piping?
No spells in Pied Piping. No.
All right. I gotta think for a second because gerbils don't normally dance to the tune of anything.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah, I'm a closeted gerbil pessimist.
Okay.
No,
Let me never work.
No, well, let me think here. You can go ahead and roll me a skill check for your flutes.
Okay. See exactly what's going on here.
Because I imagine Lucas would be doing this whether I, as a GM, say it would be successful or not. So
yeah, that's it's very apt. I will be there in a few seconds if you'd like to roll.
Sure.
My flute is a 98.
Okay, that's pretty low there, Lucas. You might want to look into
I'll try increasing
improving that
next
a bit.
level.
All right, you you play a jaunty tune, and you dance around. However, unfortunately, the only thing that happens is a homeless person sitting in one of the alleys tells you to shut up. Shut up! I'm trying to sleep.
That's my only comment on that.
He thinks to himself, Plan B. Though this might get messy.
6 days later, no. All right, what's Plan B?
2 spells.
Okay.
It will be a cherry pie along with bubblegum stickum.
Oh my god, you're gonna lure them with the cherry pie and stick them to the floor? Am I thinking right?
Pretty much. He's probably going to try to find a few stray pieces of paper and things like that so he can stick it on there so he can lift them up.
Okay. How do you want to keep these creatures? 16 cats and 16 gerbils are a lot of animals.
There is a lot of animals. That is a true fact.
If you put them on that ship, they are going in the airlock.
He'd have to get them to the ship first, which I'd be very impressed.
Mm-hmm.
These are true facts. All right. Containers.
If you need to retroact like you bought containers before you went down there, I'm fine with that. I would like to think Lucas would have that peace of mind, unless you don't think he would, and then you got what you got. It's up to you on that one.
He's about to set all this up, realizes that he does not have any container things, plus he needs to carry all of that. Plus he doesn't know what other animals are going to be coming. This is getting inconvenient for him. He's just going to buy them.
All right. At least he tried to pipe them. No one can blame him for that. Okay. So you can find an animal store, and you're looking at about 50 credits a cat and about 40 credits per gerbil.
Fantastic. Lucas will do such things.
All right. And they give you basically like, you ever go to like a Home Depot or something and they have those big flat beds that you can roll around to put lumber and stuff on?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, think like a big flat bed with wheels. And what they do is they put all 32 animals in their own little cages on the dolly, and you can wheel that back to where you need to. So the animal store isn't that close to the metal worker. Surprisingly, they don't seem to be the same kind of business. So you're going to, unless you choose to find some mode of transportation, you're going to be pushing 16 yowling cats and 32 gerbils down about 3 or 4 miles through the open market.
Generally, he doesn't seem to mind too much. He doesn't really mind the noise or anything like that. Though it is a long distance.
Yeah, it'd take about an hour and 15 minutes or so. Yeah. Hour and 20, something like that. Lucas is a pretty spry guy.
Oh yeah, he's got freaking endurance and speed. He might actually do that in less time.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he wanted to like jog behind it, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? He's gonna make a game out of this. He's gonna try to weave in things. Not like to make it harder, but like just to move things along.
So the passerbys are going to see a colorfully dressed man pushing and running a cart full of animals that are yowling.
Mm-hmm.
So when you live on center, you get used to seeing odd sights. Yeah, once in a while, there are sights that still make people stop and stare. This would be one of them.
Lucas would love it. Every second, anybody who like turns his head, he's like, "Yes, you see right."
All right, you're able to get back to the silversmith, who is hard at work on your weapon. It is still going to take him quite some time because obviously silversmithing is not easy. Yes. So you arrive, and he, with his blue hair, is standing there, like kind of hammering on something that's starting to look kind of vaguely cross-shaped. And when he sees you come, he like kips in excitement and puts down the hammer and starts saying hello to all the little animals, and he calls every single one of them Miss Pats. So he's basically going to, hi, Miss Pats. Hello, Miss Pats. Hi, Miss Pats. Hello, Miss Pats.
Lucas is trying to imagine exactly what he will do with the animal. The moment his mind immediately goes to, is he going to pat them? No, I don't think that's his style. I don't think he's that straightforward of a man. But go on with your scene.
Well, after he says hello to each and every one of the 32 animals, he looks up to you and he says, well, a deal is a deal. It'll take me, maybe a day. Maybe just 23 hours. Yeah, about 23 hours.
Lucas, thank you, good sir. I hope you enjoy your gerbils and cats.
He nods and just goes back to work, mumbling to himself.
God love a man who loves his work.
All right. If you don't mind, we can jump over to Talavac real quick. So, Talavac,
Sir.
when last we ended the week, you were in a room surrounded by the gory remains of what were your people.
Right.
What would you want to do now? Because we kind of stopped there.
Oh, yeah. I would like to find some sort of flame source, and I would like to set this entire building on fire and say a prayer, if that's possible.
Yes, it's definitely possible. Okay. Ollie will.
No praying is allowed. Fuck off.
Ollie will. So I assume Talabek would start looking for some sort of light source or something like that.
Very intensely looking for something like a light source. Yeah.
After a long moment, almost like he doesn't know what to say or is, he goes, Talavac, are you okay?
Fire! I need fire now.
They aren't here to fight anymore, Talavac.
No. Fire. I don't want to leave my people like this.
Ah, I see. He nods rather apathetically and then begins to also look for a light source. There's plenty of well, I'll tell you what. Roll me a D100.
Okay.
Okay. You find on one of the remains, because these remains weren't really looted per se, they were just kind of slaughtered. You find a phosphorus grenade or something very similar to it on one of the remains. That's basically a grenade that is designed to burn at really high temperatures. And you find enough accelerant that if you put it in like the center of the room, you could be fairly sure that, and Ollie would confirm this, that you could set fire to the room.
Okay, I want to ceremoniously set up almost like a bonfire, like with the sticks and any flammable cloth, anything flammable. Lay them on top, make kindling, and I'm gonna set the phosphorus grenade in the middle like an egg, and I'm gonna say a prayer from my tribe in Draconic, as best of my ability, from what I heard the shaman say.
Mm-hmm.
And once I'm done, I'm gonna pull the grenade, and then I'm gonna, get out of the building.
Got it. Ollie will be silent the whole time, watching you. And when you pull the grenade and it lights, he says, "It would be wise for us not to be here."
All right. Well, I've said what I needed to say anyway.
He nods and then kind of like takes a step back and like motions towards the door, like, after you kind of thing.
Oh yeah. What I've done here is done, and I don't want to draw any more attention. So
Okay.
we're gonna go.
So you guys exit the building as the smoke starts to very small leak out of the windows. I'd say you'd be a good 100, 200 paces down the street by the time that you hear someone yell for alarms that the building's on fire. And you guys keep walking. After some time, Ollie would say a little awkwardly, "I am sorry for your loss.
It's all right. It's all right. Trying to help. I appreciate it. Uh, you know who will be sorry?
Ollie nods. I think I can guess.
Right now, he's just really he's not saying a whole lot. Right now, he's really just trying to settle this all down into his head right now.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, and
So,
Ollie won't say much after that as well. He'll order. He'll like hail a cab.
mhm.
And kind of usher you in, and then get in next to you, and then basically ask where you want to go.
Actually, I'm kind of like in that state to where you're coherent, but
Not
you're
paying attention.
Not paying
Got it.
attention. Yeah.
So he'd ask, and then after no response, he would tell the driver to
Oh, I just
Mhm.
tapping him.
Yes.
Sorry. A little out of it.
It's okay. And he'll tell the driver to actually go to the Corsair ship. Like unless you tell him, because honestly he doesn't know where your ship is or anything, so he just tells him to go to the Corsair ship.
Well, and that's enhanced with the absent-mindedness. But then I tell him
Right.
where the second chance is and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, he would or would not?
He would.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah. I want to
he
go back
would.
to the
Yeah.
second chance.
If
Mhm.
Talavac requests it, he would drop him
Yeah.
off, of course, at the second chance.
Uh-huh.
He would even get out of the taxi and kind of walk with you to the ship, and he'd admire the outside of the ship, and he'd say, "It's very artistic, isn't it?"
Yeah, it's a real joy to look at. I'll catch you later.
Yes. Get some rest, friend.
All right, and I just nod to him, and
Mhm.
then get on the ship and head to my quarters.
All right. With that, I'm going to jump over to Xavier.
Okay.
Xavier was shopping. Was there anything you wanted as the character to do, or anything? I don't want to feel like I've been ignoring you. You know what I mean?
Just realized I was muted. Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, we'll finish off the shopping. I just want to add in one little thing before we can continue on.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how I said I showed that picture of how I want the gun to look,
Yes.
and how there was that kind of like wooden inlet, and there was kind of an eagle on it. I'm like, I might want something else.
Mm-hmm.
So Xavier, being Xavier, a fellow who has a bit of a ego, a person who likes to think he is pretty cool, maybe cooler than he really is. And since he has a lot of money, I would like for him to get a bit of a custom inlet. So instead of an eagle, it would simply be, for lack of a better word, it's a picture of a skeleton with like a spear going through like its rib cage into its body, like it's kind of impaled on like a spear, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. And
Yeah.
I want on the end of on the side of on one side to say the end, and on the other side of the gun to say Reaper of the Damned.
Okay.
Xavier's
What
fucking
a
name
goddamn
is gun.
edgelord!
I know. Xavier is naming his gun. He's putting power into his weapon. And other than that, the only last out of character thing I want to ask is how much would we you mentioned that there would be I'd be able to get 50 cal silver bullets.
Yes.
I'm just wondering the cost of those, and if there's a maximum number. I would like to get 5 clips, and each clip has 7 bullets. Would that be feasible?
That would be feasible. Where you're going to go to get this gun worked on anyway, it's a specialty shop,
Okay.
which would be the same place that most people would get their silver ammo anyway, because
Okay.
for the exact same reason, the people who shop here are into the excess.
Yeah, well, Xavier did spend $500,000 gambling for shits and giggles. No, more than 500,000, like a quarter. I mean,
I think it's
three-quarters
like
of a million.
700 something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
750,000. So Xavier don't mind excess.
Um,
So
the good news is that while different calibers do tend to be different prices, when you're talking about such exorbitant prices to begin with for silver, they're not really putting different prices on the calibers, which means that for 100 rounds it's still 5,000, and
Okay.
you can get at least 100, so you can get what you need.
Okay, I'll get 100 rounds and I'll be all set in case we come across these vampire fuckers again. You know what I mean? But
And much like the others, the bullets themselves, the casings, not the bullet, but the casing that the bullet goes into is very ornate,
Okay,
very fancy looking.
fancy schmancy. Okay, so
Mhm.
you said 5,000.
Correct.
Now, out of curiosity, 5,000 for 100 rounds, so I'll just get 100 rounds. And how much additional cost would that custom, as Byrne likes to say it, edgelord customization should I have on the grip of my gun?
It wouldn't be as much as you might think at first. Give me a second. While
Sure. I can
look
just
at
make
this up.
adjustments to my money.
And I can let you know. So basically, here's what the type of shop you found was like this. Normally, making a custom gun from scratch takes time. However, what you're doing is choosing a gun that's already made, that's pre-made and fancy, but has like a blank slate on it, and engraving what you want on it. And there are stores that get enough business in this sense that what they do is almost like a tattoo artist. They have these very ornate, very fancy guns that have blank sides and blank handles, and they give you kind of a piece of paper, and they work with you for 10 or 15 minutes to draw out the design you're thinking of.
Best gunsmith.
Mm-hmm. And then once you're happy with the design on both sides, and he'll edit it, and then what he does is he plugs that into a computer, and the computer engraves it in like 5 minutes. And then after that,
you have computers that can do that, right? I see.
No one said they're as good as people.
I do.
But
I'm gonna say they're better than people.
I'm actually thinking about there used to be a kiosk in my mall that did that for like necklaces and stuff. You would literally like do that, and they'd put it in a machine. So the whole process would take about an hour, mainly because they need to clean it and
I'm just thinking because I don't know if I'm just thinking with my character, right? Would it be kind of like in tattoo parlors where there'd be a bunch of like example pictures and Xavier's like looking around and he sees a picture of the skeleton being skewered and he's like, that I want that on my gun.
Yes, very much like that.
I like to think that Xavier would come up with the name The End Reaper of the Damned, though, because as we've learned on Siren, he does have a proclivity for dramatic speech.
Here's another question too. Do you already have, or do you intend to purchase regular rounds as well, or?
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Silver bullets. Okay, to be fair, silver bullets still do the same amount of damage no matter what. The biggest difference is your range is cut in half with silver bullets.
Okay.
So they still do the same amount of SDC damage
because they're heavier, according to the Vampire Kingdoms book.
Yep. All right. Give me a second. I will get a price for you. A price for you today. You're looking at about for the engraving and everything. You're looking at about 4,000 credits.
Okay. And knock that off.
Sounds a little odd that the gun is cheaper than the bullets themselves, but to believe it or not, there's more precious metal in that 100 bullets than there is in that gun.
Okay.
The gun, do you want it a certain color? Do you want it gold plated? Do you want it ivory? Do you want it black?
Silver and black.
Silver and black. Okay. Easily done. So 4,000 for the gun, 5,000 for the 100 bullets, and regular ammunition. You're actually looking at about 500 for 100 bullets.
Oh, just gotta get to my money section here. I already took off the 5,000. I just have to take off the 4,500 here. There it is. Okay, sweet.
All right. All right, and then you'll be good to go. So I do have one more thing kind of planned for it's whoever's on the ship.
Okay. I'll be.
actually-
Is it okay if I come back for my shopping?
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
during
yeah,
this
yeah,
time?
yeah.
Okay.
I would say this is probably later in the night when everyone's returned. If
Okay.
everyone who's spending the night on the ship, roll me a D100, please.
Okey dokey.
There's a gas leak. We're all gonna die.
Good.
Damn it, Inferno! Stop calling my shots.
I'm
How do you know?
I'm sorry,
How do you know?
backseat DM.
That's 7, though.
How do you know every time?
Lucas will
Right, no.
save me. I rolled an 88.
Number 7.
All right, Lucas.
What I
you
win?
notice. You notice when
Stop
you
being in
come back.
character. All right.
When you come back to the ship, you notice a scroll and a message device, like a tape recorder, at the foot of the pilot door.
Lucas will pick up the scroll and the recorder device.
Okay.
He'll look back and forth between the two, and then turn on the recorder.
You hear the voice of Levine. He goes, do I talk now? Oh,
Yes.
okay. And he goes, okay. I don't know who exactly is listening to this, but I hope all of you guys are. It's Levine. I sorry I haven't seen you much lately. I've been just exploring everywhere. In fact, I went to go see the magical colleges, and well, they were impressed with my unique abilities, as they called them. They actually have offered me a scholarship, and it's a chance to learn about this place and learn new magic. And the only thing is that, well, it started already. I don't know when you're getting back. I don't know exactly when this will reach you, but I just wanted to say thank you, and I can't repay the gifts you've given me, but I left this scroll here for Lucas. I think that he would appreciate it.
I
Again,
do.
again,
It's a recording.
again, thank you for everything you've done, and may we meet again in our travels. And then she's like, okay, I'm done. How do we stop?" And it stops.
Bye.
Xavier will give a little chuckle to himself. He says, "Well, I'm glad that, after us whisking her away from that hellhole, she's found some sort of happiness and inquisitiveness. That's good," Xavier says, giving a bit of a little happy smile before showing off his gun to everyone.
Cool.
Isaac is recoiling from that gun.
What? What's the matter?
Looks awesome.
Are you scared? It's supposed to be scary. He says, "I need something to scare people. Remember?" Wait, and he looks over to Hart. "Remember?" "This is scary. Water pistols? This will scare him."
Hart crosses her arms and says, "You haven't seen my water pistols, boss."
"Well, boss-ette, I can't wait to see them."
Hart
Xavier says.
looks utterly shocked, and then she kind of looks over to Lucas. Am I the boss now?
No.
Yeah, that's right. You put her in her place.
Don't listen to anything Xavier talks about for the next 24 hours, okay? He's
What?
going through some stuff.
What?
Hart looks very confused.
Lucas has
Don't
his mouth
listen to
open,
that.
trying to make the conversation happen. but there's
Xavier
so
looks
much
to Isaac and says, "You know what? No, belay that, Hart. Don't listen to anything that Isaac says for the next 48 hours."
So I am
Hey,
the
hey,
boss now?
hey!
No.
No.
No
I
one's
got
really
you.
the boss.
Hey, I got you the jumbo grease burger
Yeah.
with the extra fries. Don't forget that.
Xavier's gonna scrunch up his nose and point to Isaac. He got you the jumbo grease burger. Do you know where that grease comes from? I hear they get it from Salaxian slugs. Ugh.
Hart like kind of scrunches her eyebrows, looks back and forth, and she says, "Okay, 2 commands. My first command as boss is stop confusing me. And command number 2 is I don't want to be boss anymore. I'm not good at this."
Okay.
I'll be the boss.
No one's the boss, Xavier says. We're kind of more of a loosely based anarchic groupthink thing.
Oh,
If anything.
oh, good. That was way too much pressure.
Uh-huh. Anyway.
But anyways, that pistol is kind of hideous, in my opinion.
Oh, fuck you. Xavier
Dude, did you
says-
see the freaking skeleton though?
Yes, I
Thank
know. That's the
Thank
reason.
Hart asks, like, holds out her hands if she can examine it.
Xavier will look for a moment, and because he has a little bit of pride and to show up what Isaac just said, if he was trepidatious about giving Hart a giant gun, he's less so now. So he'll hand it over.
Okay. She'll turn it over in her somewhat smaller hands. The gun does look giant in her small frame.
Mhm.
And
It looks giant in my frame. I have 13 SDC. I will break my wrist when I fire that thing.
she looks at it for a minute, and then she like grips it in both hands and like points it out and starts going pew, pew.
Feels good, huh? Xavier says, ridiculously proud of a weapon he didn't even make.
She nods and she goes, I mean, it doesn't fire water, but I suppose." And she'll
It
hand
fires
it back.
bullets, and I got those silver bullets that we, that we needed back on Earth there, Isaac, in your hometown. I remember you saying that those really hurt them. So this isn't to scare anybody, right? But I've learned that you can't talk sense into those fucking monsters. Xavier says, getting a little bit serious. You can't
You
talk
forgot
with
about
them.
bullets. Are you
kidding?
Xavier pauses for a moment. You know, I was
I'm
about
sorry,
to
you
go
were
into
saying?
this whole thing, but no. We'll put a pin in that. Lucas, Jesus.
Hart nods along with Xavier and says, "You can't talk sense into bullets. That is very true."
No, you can't talk sense into those horrendous, monstrous fucking creatures, right? So if I can't talk to them, if I can't reason with them, and I can't negotiate with them, I can't fucking lie to them, then what good am I? So I need something that's going to scare the shit out of them. That's that thing, Xavier says with confidence.
You know what's gonna scare the shit out of them? Like for real?
Well,
Here,
you're
give
the
me a
expert.
second. Isaac is going to run into his room and come back with a very large silver cross and put it in in Xavier's hands. This cross is about 6 inches by 3 inches. It's fairly huge.
Xavier
And it's
looks
pure
at it
silver.
and says, "Do they not like the alphabet?"
They don't like the cross.
The cross.
Yes.
This is a cross.
Yes.
That ain't a cross, Lucas says.
Across
They-
what?
Oh my god.
Xavier isn't from Earth.
Yeah, I
right?
know.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
Xavier knows a lot.
It-
Actually, wait a second. Let's do this in character, because Xavier has picked up a lot of information across a lot of bars, a lot of stations, right?
Mhm.
Can I do a galactic lore check to find out if he
Absolutely.
knows what
Yeah,
planet
absolutely.
he
Do
is?
that.
'Cause I won't play him ignorant if he's not.
Yeah, go ahead. And while you're doing that, so Hart like looks at the cross and like kind of peers around Xavier, and then kind of looks at the cross and says, "I don't know. I think the gun does look scarier."
Now, out of curiosity, Squee, should there be a penalty to this at all? Because you said it is pretty obscure in the three galaxies.
Yes, I would say make it harder by 15.
Okay, so I'm gonna add 15 to my roll.
Okay, never mind.
Yes, I needed a 70, so I fail by 3. So yeah,
Okay.
so it is fair. I can role play with some vague confusion of like what a cross is.
Okay. You see this? This is a crucifix. I blessed it myself. Now what that is, that is a holy symbol for Christianity. Even though it might not be that popular here, it's very popular from where I'm at or where I came from. Now that will drive off a vampire. Right there. If you wear that, a vampire will not be able to bite you.
Huh.
Just pressing that onto a vampire's flesh will cause it to blister and burn.
Well, Xavier pauses for a moment. Wait. Back up a moment, Xavier. The blistering burning, that's great. But they can't touch me if I'm wearing something like that?
They can't bite you.
They
can still rip at your arms and your legs, but they'll leave your head alone. They'll leave your neck alone. That is also on a silver chain too. It's made out of silver. If you could somehow plunge that into their chest cavity, that acts like a stake, and they will be unable to regenerate.
So is this mine? Xavier says, looking at Isaac.
You may use it, but I expect it back.
Oh.
Unless...
Where did you get this? Maybe I should get one of these too, I'm thinking.
Actually, what I was thinking was, I got that here a while ago. It was a nightmare. It took a few days to actually make it. But I was thinking, perhaps, and he's going to look to the rest of the group, maybe we should take a quick trip over to Earth. Because I've been having a hard time trying to find stakes, specifically, and those. And I'm telling you right now, you'll be able to find crucifixes on Earth, along with stakes, fairly easily.
Xavier gives a very small frown and he says, I thought we were just going to use this evening to supply and then get back and chase after these vampires as soon as possible. I mean, Sarah's, her mother's in danger, other people are in danger. We might be able to help them. Or at the very least, the sooner we're on these vampires, the easier it is going to be to track them down, right? If we wait too long, they could disappear. They could go anywhere. Cinder is a huge fucking place.
I already got my crosses.
Listen, Listen, yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Your crosses?
Yeah. Check out this one. And he takes out a small wooden one.
Oh, cool. And that was blessed, right? Because it won't work unless it's blessed.
He looks at it. I didn't ask him, but I'll double check.
Did you get that from a priest?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
I called Lucas Savior. What the fuck is the matter with me? Hey Lucas. Hey Lucas. Could you get how many of those do you got?
I got this one. You can have this one because I'm getting bigger ones.
Oh, great!
Bigger
Thanks.
ones.
Yeah, bigger ones.
Huh.
Xavier will reach out his hand, and if it's given to him, he'll put it on his person.
Okay.
And he'll put it in his inside coat pocket.
Actually, Lucas will think for a bit. I actually might need that, but I'll definitely give it to you
before we get going.
Yes.
Okay, great. And Xavier will give it back.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But anyways,
that was Xavier's response to the Earth suggestion. But I mean, we don't have to do what I say. It's just what Xavier's thinking, right?
Well, we might be able to find a couple of rifts.
Listen, if we can still slip into one of these, portals in tonight and come back, before the morning, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's what I
But
was thinking. I mean, it doesn't
okay,
hurt to at least check it out because there's
okay,
fucking
go nuts.
hundreds of these portals.
All right.
So is nobody else interested?
Lucas thinks for a second and then opens the scroll to see what's on it.
That's your cue, Squee. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
My cue to not mute myself. Haha.
Yeah.
As far as you can tell, it's always kind of hard to tell what living spells are just by their nature. But it's some sort of translation spell, but it's not quite right. It's not a verbal like you can speak other languages, but somehow if you work with it, you will be able to communicate in other languages, even if it's not exactly clear what that means. Much like her other spells, so much of it is dependent upon the person who's learning it that the final product is difficult to ascertain from the scroll itself.
Lucas scratches the back of his head. I should probably get a bit more shopping done here.
Okay. I'm gonna go and check out the portals. And in fact, I might offer for the Corsairs to come with if they need to.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm still trying to mend bridges, and he's gonna look scathingly at Xavier.
Xavier's gonna scrunch up his face and goes, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
What? Telling the second in command and one of the higher ranking Corsairs in that group that they can go fuck themselves right outside
No, I believe
of
I said fuck the Corsairs, not
Okay.
for them to go fuck themselves.
essentially the same thing.
No. Xavier says, and he spends the next 3 minutes explaining.
They
how
were
telling someone to
extremely
screw off and to
annoyed.
copulate with themselves is a very different thing. Continue.
They were not happy,
Okay.
especially
well,
since we were right outside of our ship.
Yeah, I understand that they could hear it. That was the whole point. Xavier says, "Listen, we helped each other out a little bit, but frankly, they're also a little bit of the reason why we're some of the most wanted people by the Splagorth right now. So let's just say that I'll trust them when they earn that trust. They'll be helpful when they earn that help. Okay? But right now, they can go either way. They can either be a big problem for us or a big solution for us. And I'm not going to mince words. Do I think we should work together? Hell yeah. It's going to be a lot easier to deal with these fucking vampires. The more help you get, the better, right? But that doesn't mean we have to kowtow them to them, bring them to the ship, treat them like royalty when they have their own stuff. And it sure as hell doesn't mean they get to boss us around. We got this ship for our own freedom, for our own sense of adventure, to do what we wanted to do. Right?
Yes, but how are they bossing us around?
They're the ones who suggested that we need to get together on one ship. They're the ones who suggested to come on board our ship. I find it very strange that they didn't suggest that we go over there.
That suggested that we all go and powwow at one place. I was the one that originally suggested to go up to the manors, but you decided to come to our ship because it's our ship in one specific place. But because... Go ahead.
I invited Sarah onto our ship, and then they invited themselves as well.
No, they did not. I invited them.
I'm sorry, then I guess you remember it differently than I do.
Okay.
Suffice to say, I don't trust them. Not yet. Not by a long shot. And they might seem nice, and they might seem friendly, but you remember how nice and friendly I was to those pirates when we blew up their fucking base, right? Friendly don't mean shit. Actions mean more.
Okay. I think I'll see you guys later.
Okay. We'll meet tomorrow morning back at the level, back outside where Sarah's home is. Yeah?
Sure. I
Okay.
will
Well,
try to make it.
7 a.m.?
Make it 8.
Okay.
And Isaac will leave. And try and communicate to Cyber 6.
All right. Hang on one second, actually, before you do that. I got a message. Talavac wanted to interject from his room, but he didn't want to break up the conversation.
Okay.
So, Talavac, did you want to
Yeah.
say or do something? Yeah.
Yeah. You just hear, enough! Okay? Enough of this. All right? Look, I just went through a pretty horrific time. My people that I was supposed to meet, and I get up close in between both of y'all, the Splurgorth slaughtered them. So, I think we can put this little pettiness aside. All right? We don't need to fight each other. We already have enough enemies. Now, I just back up. Go back in my room.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I don't care if it's awkward. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Good, because it kind of is. But that's okay. That's
Yeah.
what the whole role-playing thing is
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were just gonna blink and be like, "Oh, this is great. This is great." When he retires, Saber's just gonna be like, "Oh, I wish we were on vacation."
Man, you know what we need right now?
A vacation from our vacation. All right.
But yeah, Isaac will have the open-ended invitation for
Sure.
Cyber 6 or any of the other crew to go with him to Earth.
Cyber 6 will respond. It's gonna be a late trip. You're gonna be, good to go.
Oh, I'm already on the way.
I meant, we're gonna be doing recon tomorrow, and I don't want you falling asleep or anything. But hey,
be
you
fine.
know your limits better than anyone.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Well, I don't need sleep, so I'll be more than happy to accompany you. Though, quite honestly, I'd rather the rest of the unit get some rest.
Yeah, that sounds fine to me. I'm just basically looking for a couple of items back on Earth, so it should only take a couple of hours, if that.
Sounds like a
Hopefully.
plan. I'll meet you out in front of the gates then.
Okay.
All right. So he'll let you know. I do have one more slight interaction. About 15 minutes after the awkwardness, when everyone's kind of gone their own way, there will be a knock on Talavac's door, like a very quiet knock.
Open it up slightly and just look in that one eye. Like what?
You see Hart standing there, and she looks like very concerned. And she goes, "Tally, you okay?"
I can say I was. And then I just pause because Lucas wants to do something.
Lucas is behind Hart.
Oh God! Same look.
The same look as Hart, yes.
Hart will say, "Do you want to talk about it?"
But I appreciate the concern. I'm still having trouble taking it in. If you'll excuse me, and I just close the door.
There'll be like a moment of silence. Then Hart will kind of like turn around to Lucas, and like her bottom lip is quivering, like half a step away from crying.
Some
And-
things cannot be helped by others. Sometimes you just need to let it sink in. Once he's ready, we'll cheer him up.
She nods and then kind of like wipes her eyes, and then she says, "I have some work to do." And then she'll just go back to the engine room.
Yay! Depression. Well,
Mhm.
we're gonna have to go into a layer of vampires, so I mean, you're not gonna be skipping into it anyway, but still.
You could, though. This
If
is
you wanna
Lucas we're
die.
talking about.
Oh yeah. Well, Lucas, he skips everywhere.
Lucas skipping around, tossing water balloons.
Yeah, doesn't count. Lucas skips everywhere.
All right. Is there anything the Lucas, Xavier, or Talavac would do that night, or is everyone kind of going to bed? Or
I'm good. Honestly, I'm good to move on to the next scene.
Lucas is buying bullets and hopefully a single spell scroll.
Okay.
I will just type to Squee the name of it,
Sure.
and you can roll or whatever.
Whatever you GMs do,
I
fucking
choose
roll.
whatever.
Roll 1d1, whatever.
Give me a second.
I
All right,
can,
well,
I can send you the.
No, I remember.
Okay.
Let's see. Yes. All right. Yes, you are able to find. It takes about 2 hours of searching, but you're able to find it. It's you're able to find it buried in a like a Party City store type of thing.
Great. Where he usually shops for most of his
Pretty much,
things.
yeah. Where he usually shops for most of his things, yes. Which is probably why you found it so quickly. All right. So you're able to get that, and then the bullets are same thing. It's going to be about 5,000 per every 100 silver, and then for regular, it depends on the caliber. So if you can, you can just shoot that to me, and I'll let you know. With Isaac.
Yes.
You get to the gates, and you'll see Cyber 6 already there in his sombrero and poncho, and he's looking at like a gate schedule or listing.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks up and goes, "Oh, Isaac, I was taking a look at the list here. I'll be honest, I'm not incredibly familiar with Earth, but there's a few here. There's Tolkien, there's Laszlo. I think is what that says. Is that some sort of town?
You think what? I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit for me.
Oh, he says, and I think it's pronounced Triax. Is that some sort of town?
Squee, do I know any of those places?
I'm assuming Isaac hasn't done a lot of traveling. Roll me like a basic knowledge check for just, maybe you've heard from travelers, et cetera, et cetera.
So an IQ check, maybe?
Yeah. Roll me an IQ check.
Okay. So how do I do IQ again?
So what it is, typically what it is that depending on how hard it is, the GM says you roll under your intelligence ×2 if it's really hard, or ×5 if it's easy, right?
Mhm.
So that's kind of a house rule to do IQ checks.
Roll under your intelligence ×4.
Okay, so ×4
because these are pretty
is
big towns we're talking about
72.
here.
So I have to roll under a 72.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
You've never heard of any of them.
Are there any attendants at this late hour?
Oh yeah, this place is crowded 24/7, or
Okay.
I think it's like 36. I don't know. The weeks are weird on center, but yes.
Yeah. I will try and find an attendant and try and ask them, I'm looking for these specific things from Earth. Where would you recommend?
He'll dutifully kind of look things up and kind of cross-reference a few charts here and there, and then he'll say, well, well, oh, here we go. This is interesting. We have a portal. It's open all the time. It goes to a city called Laszlo, straight to a techno wizard quarter.
Sweet.
Sounds like what you're looking for?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Okay. And he'll direct you like line 32B. The fee is 2,000 credits per person.
Okay, and I would be able to come back immediately, right?
He nods. He says, oh, it's a permanent gate.
Okay, sounds good. And then Isaac will do that.
Okay. Cyber will follow you. And it's about a 2-hour wait. Not just the line to that gate, but more like the line to get to where the lines split off to go to separate gates.
Yeah.
As you see, people from what look like simple travelers to merchants with giant crates and vehicle size containers that they're pushing along, trying to get from one gate to another.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a very slow moving line as you get through. And Cyber 6 kind of waits patiently with you, and he says, so, heard you had a sparring session with Indigo.
Yeah. Talked
Hope
about
she
some
wasn't
stuff.
too hard on you.
Nah, it's fine. I mean, girl can hit hard, but it's fine.
You ain't kidding. She's got spunk, that one. Spirit. She's got spirit. God damn it. All right.
No, that's okay.
No.
Context.
Have
but
Cyber
that's
6.
where
Lucas is
No,
laughing.
please have Cyber 6 say that.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I won't regress it. So he'll say that. That's spunk. Remember, she killed the big guy even after that horrible wound that you healed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Cyber like 6, his voice kind of drops. Oh, I believe that's us. And like he kind of walks up.
Do. Awkward silence for a moment. Oh, that's us. Okay, bye. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
So that we're not splitting the party too much or too long or anything like that. Can you roll me a D100, please?
Okay. For the stuff, I'm looking for. Should I roll for each item or?
No. This is just one roll for now.
Okay, 18.
Okay then. All right. This was more of a does something go wrong or happen or whatnot type roll. You enter the a quarter. You enter a city that's very well developed. Okay, it's kind of a strange sensation. Very well developed for what you're used to when you were growing up. But compared to where you've been lately, it doesn't have quite the splendor. Like there's two sides of you. The one side's like, wow. The other side's like, lots of big buildings, lots of people. It's currently looks like it's in the middle of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And you are in a market place that has all kinds of strange gizmos. A few people outside in front of these shops calling out to this shop or that shop. And basically you see signs everywhere that's it's like techno wizardry research and development, techno gadgets, Phillips Emporium. So a whole bunch of different signs.
Mm-hmm.
But you're very quickly, especially with a role like that, you're very quickly able to find what you're looking for, which is a store called hang on. Jinns, Vampires, Werewolves, and Other Exotic Creatures.
That's the place. Yes.
You walk in, and it's a fairly small store, but it's filled to the brim. It's like one of those stores that I don't know if you've ever been to it. They have these a lot in Korea, and I'm sure they have them maybe in bigger cities. It's a very small store, but the inventory is just packed everywhere. It looks like a
You're
16-year-old's bedroom.
you're talking about the Don Quixote?
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Me
When
and
I went
Noah
to
speak
Japan,
the English.
when I went to
Mhm.
Japan when I was in high school, they do have like corner stores, and the shelves are packed with just stuff.
Yes,
Like,
and like the
random
aisles are
stuff.
like half full of things, so you have to walk down these narrow lanes. And
Yeah, exactly.
And okay, so it's
Yeah.
packed like that, and you hear from behind the counter, "Just a minute, just a minute," and then this really ancient, crickety old man stands up with a cane and he goes, "How can I help you, young'uns?"
Hi. I was wondering if you have any crucifixes, special crucifixes.
Crucifixes, crucifixes, my boy. You know where you walked into. Half my inventory is crucifixes.
Do you have any? I'm looking for a specific kind that my grandfather used to use. He just called it the vampire cross. Um, it has a red gem, a ruby. I guess that's what they're called. In the very center, and it glows whenever you're within 100 feet of a vampire.
I know what you're talking about. Give me 1 second. I think it's over here somewhere. And he starts like rummaging on a random shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on. Oops. And he goes, I have a few, and he like takes some up that looks like what you're looking for, and he kind of, and it blows like a bunch of dust off it. Not much call for these around these parts. And he kind of like dangles 5 crosses from chains, and they all have like a red ruby in them. 12,000 credits apiece.
Sure, I'll take all 5. Do you also happen to have? Well, can I also take 5 normal crucifixes, please?
He kind of looks at you and he goes, "Just regular crucifixes?"
Well, unless you have any other special ones. Like, maybe if they're made out of silver, that would be fantastic.
And he like raises up a cane and kind of pokes you in the chest and says, "That's the ticket. These monsters hate silver. Vampires, werewolves, my ex-wife. Can't stand the thing."
Boo! Boo, old man. Boo. Don't quit your fucking day job selling crosses. All right.
And he kind of like haphazardly from below the counter like pulls out this box, and the box is just a mass of different size and shaped crucifixes, all gleaming of silver. There are the small ones are 2,000 credits. The larger ones are 5. Yeah, I'll bundle them. If you buy 10, I'll bundle them for. Oh, hang on. The old noggin doing math now.
Click, click,
Not
click.
so
noggin.
quick with the math as he is with the insults to the old X-ball and chain, it seems.
I'll give you a deal. 18,000 for 10.
Sounds good. I'll take it.
They're not blessed, however, so you have to deal with that yourself. I'm no holy man.
Yeah. Thankfully, I can do that myself. Speaking of which, do you also have wooden stakes? I'm going on a vampire hunting spree, and he's gonna he's gonna have a big old smile.
And he he kind of wheezes in laughter. Son, there hasn't been a vampire around here in 20 years or so.
Trust me. I took a rift to get here. Where I'm going to, there are some vampires that need killing.
He shrugs and he says, I understand. It seems like an awful long way to travel for some vampire hunting here. Cyber Six is like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
And he says, but I got what you want. And he kind of like points to a shelf in the back that's like a whole selection of wooden weapons. So it's like wooden daggers, wooden swords, wooden stakes, wooden crossbow bolts. The whole thing is just wooden weapons. And he motioned over there, and then he kind of hicks his cane up against Cyber Six. Well, how about it, fella? Cyber Six is like, how about what? You're one of them Borgs, aren't you? Why don't you let me coach you in silver? Damn vampires won't touch you. Cyber Six like looks at Isaac and he's like,
He'll be
no,
fine.
I think I'm okay.
Yeah. He's got some spare attachments that are already coated in silver. Like you said, this is not vampire country, so we figured might as well not need them.
Cyber Six looks at Isaac for a moment and goes,
Isaac will
yes.
wink.
Yeah, I've got like tons of Borg things for the Borg stuff.
See?
He looks a little uncomfortable. So
Cyber Six needs a better MA score.
Yeah, he does. Stakes there are like, I mean, you've got from the really high quality stereotypical stakes that are about 20 credits a piece to like broken sharpened chair legs that are like 5 credits a piece.
Well, I want 55 of them. So if he has that,
yes, okay, he does. Roll me, roll me 1d55.
1d55. Shouldn't it be a d100?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
8.
Good. All right. 8 of them of that 55 are gonna have to be like the sharpened chair legs.
Okay, that sounds good. So that will be 47.
Cyber Six looks at like one of the chair legs and he kind of like laughs a little bit and says, maybe we can give these to Simmons.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, 5 of them.
He shrugs.
There's actually one last thing that I'm looking for. Do you have any silver-coated weapons?
Well, yeah, all kinds. Swords, daggers, crossbow bolts. What are you looking for, Sonny?
A scythe.
Come again?
A scythe.
You mean like the farm tool?
Yeah.
Well, let me check.
It's just a shot in the dark. If you don't, then I'll take a long sword. But, hey.
He like goes over to a shelf and starts rummaging through things. Man wants to cut vampire wheat. Far be it from me to tell him no. I'm sorry, lad. I don't think I have anything like that.
Okay.
Not much call for vampirism on the farm, you know.
Figured I'd give it a shot. How much for a silvered longsword?
Oh, that'll be 1,500 credits.
Okay. I will pay that.
All right. And
how much were it for the chair legs each? And the high
it was
quality
5
ones?
for the chair legs and 20 for the high quality.
Okay. And I think that finishes up my shopping, unless Cyber 6 needs anything.
No,
he will.
no.
Isaac will offer to get Cyber 6 stuff.
Cyber 6 will wave his hand. He'll say, that's very kind, but I could buy something if I needed to. No, I picked up quite a few silver slugs, and I do have... and he kind of like holds up a hand, and a vibroblade kind of like shinks out of
Mm.
the back of his wrist, almost like a Wolverine, but it's just a vibroblade.
Neat.
And he goes, "Yeah, well, I mean, so you weren't completely wrong."
Yeah.
And he like slides back in, though. I'm hoping that I won't have to get that close.
Yeah, you can hope, you can pray, but sometimes you got to do it. Anyways, let's head back.
And with that, you're able to head back. It's a much shorter line to back to center. And you're able to get through. It's about, so if we were to say, timelines, you're looking at about 4 in the morning by the time you could get back to the ship, and Cyber would bid you good night.
Cool. 3 to 4 in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. So Isaac will be
Nice.
back at the ship and will have like 3 hours of sleep. That's not that bad. He just needs coffee in the morning.
It's enough to keep you from having any penalties or anything. So
Yeah.
there's that. All right. So if everyone's good, we can go ahead and skip ahead to the next morning. Do you want to skip ahead to like waking up, or do you want to skip ahead to like meeting on level 6? How do you guys want to?
I would love to skip to meeting on to level 6.
Mhm.
Okay.
I believe that is something that can be done. What is the pricing of the list that I gave you, just so I can make sure?
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now, actually. Well, that first one's gonna cost you.
Shit.
Hang on.
I like to think that Lucas is pulling a Deadpool, so he's very metagame. So the first item is like a picture of the GM naked or something like that.
We'll say
Oh,
3,000
wow.
total.
Total for everything?
Wait. Oh, 10 drums. Make that then 3,500.
Okay, the last thing on the list.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I don't know why I looked right
I'm
over that
like,
and spaced it.
I have to
Yeah,
triple check this, because if I go away with this at like 5...
No.
I hope it's like a minigun.
I understand. You're looking at just add 10,000 to that, so 13,500.
Okay.
It's probably fucking like a sexy vampire outfit.
God.
Squee, I have another item.
Oh, no.
No!
I don't
I like to think Lucas would dress up like the old like Mary Sherry type of vampires with the the Victorian dress and the white wig and the poofy shirts.
Oh God.
It'd be very similar to the documentary.
I like
Mhm.
to imagine every time Lucas walks into one of these types of stores, he's not going in for anything in particular. He just kind of finds things as he goes along.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
that sounds on par for the course.
That's actually what I was
Alright.
thinking for the third item.
Random item pick. Awesome.
What? You just randomly find that much ammunition?
Well, no, he would
It could
probably, kind of, yeah. He would just be like, I want this.
Okay, I can see. All right. So here's what we'll do. We'll actually, before you guys head down there, you'll get a call from Cyber 6.
Mhm.
And Cyber 6 will say, all right, did you guys, I guess we didn't really decide, did you guys want to go vampire hunting or researching on that golden orb?
I
Xavier
honestly-
says the vampires are the clear threat and the likely culprit for who took us. I say we hunt those fuckers down first.
I'm not good at the whole research. You said research, right?
Cyber 6 over the radio goes, I did say research.
Yeah, I'm not very good at the research thing.
There's a pause, and Cyber 6 says, I agree with Savior. I think it's important to look into it. If it's something they want, perhaps it's something we can use. But I do agree that's the bigger threat. If you guys are going after the vampires, then if you don't mind, I and Magnolia can tag along. She's an excellent tracker, and we can send the rest after the orb.
Mhm.
See if it's something we can use or just a red herring.
If you think there's a suspicion of it being a red herring, listen, Xavier says. These vampires are dangerous as hell. Why don't all of us go to hunt them down? All the Corsairs, all of the Second Chance crew. I mean, if we're missing one or two people and we get overwhelmed, we're fucked. Then there's no looking into anything.
Cyber Six will. There'll be like a pause on the radio again. He'll say, "That's not a bad idea. Tell you what, I'll leave Simmons here. He's good at this kind of stuff anyway, and can't be bothered with it. The rest of us will meet you down on level 6.
Okay.
And with that, I'll see you there." And then he kind of clicks off. So, you guys head
your butts on, yeah.
Yeah, you guys head down to level 6, where you find the Corsairs again. This time they're a bit more kitted out. They all actually, what was I going to say? Sorry. They're all wearing different types of body armor. Most of it is painted black and white, and most of it is fully enclosed. The only exceptions are Magnolia is wearing a full-plated body armor, with the exception of she's not wearing a helmet, and her hair is just kind of flowing out. Indigo is not wearing much of anything. She's wearing basically the same orange jumper that she wore, not the same one, but the same style that she wore the day before. And the only difference is you do see like a golden medallion hanging around her neck. And then, of course, Cyber Six is in his poncho and sombrero.
Okay. For the record, I'm taking... would at this point, Lucas give me that wooden cross?
Question, Squee.
Mm-hmm.
Have I gotten my crosses?
No. 23 hours have not passed yet.
So I'm off without the crosses.
Unless you guys want to wait. Yeah. Unfortunately, it takes time to make giant pieces of silver worked metal.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So you can keep your wooden cross. I'll go in without it. It's fine.
Well,
Lucas would give it. As long as you gave it back to me at the end of this, you can
Sure.
take it.
okay.
So then I'll just have my wooden cross, the End, Reaper of the Damned, and my light combat armor, which has an N20 integrated force field. And plus a little miscellaneous stuff like a fucking mirror in my computer and shit. But that's the important thing.
All right, and just because this one we want to, how much of what kind of ammo?
I'm going to have. I only have 5 clips for the End.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be ridiculous for me to have 20 clips on my person. So since I know we're fighting vampires, all 5 clips have silver bullets.
Got it. All right. Who else? Who's bringing what?
Can I go? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to say, just really quickly, when we all meet up, because Isaac would have found you guys in the morning because he slept on the ship, he would distribute crosses to everybody along with wooden stakes. So everybody has 5 wooden stakes, and each of you 3 will be able to take the vampire crosses, the special ones that will glow within the presence of a vampire within 100 feet.
Oh, you have your wooden cross then back.
Yeah, and they are yours to keep, period. Just forever. I will also...
glows when vampires nearby?
Within
Yes.
100 feet, yeah.
Within 100 feet.
Is within 100 feet. Cool.
If you want
Thank you.
Yeah, if you want the full description, it's in Vampire Kingdoms, page 32.
Okie dokie.
Is
Is that the new one or the original one?
I think it's the original.
Okay.
I think that one.
Is
But
it the one with a picture of a vampire on top of like a fucking pyramid?
yeah, and the scape is like green and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
that's
original.
the one.
That's the one I'm using too. So that's good.
Yeah.
Good, we're on
Yeah,
the same
that's
page.
cool.
He will also distribute 2 of those to the Corsairs, and that's for them to keep. And he will distribute the rest of the Corsairs with normal silver crosses. He would have done that before he went back to the ship, before him and Cyber 6 parted, and he would have left Cyber 6 with half of the stakes to arm everybody. So, that's my shopping for everybody.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, I'm going full assault mode. I have my Sunage armor, Rapture, my pistol with the silver bullets, 3 clips, 21 bullets total. My scanner, my Windrush ring, which I've named Gale, rope and grapple hook, and the gear that Isaac gave us in the beginning: the flare gun, the holy water, globe of daylight, and the stakes.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm bringing.
What about Lucas?
Lucas is bringing his Thompson, 2 clips of ammo of silver. He's also going to bring a single drum of ammo for as Tommy. His array of shurikens.
Shuriken.
Spraken. And he's going to bring his guitar case and remove the flutes from it and put his guitar in there with his Thompson.
Okay. All right. Isaac?
All right, so here is what I am bringing. His Brannigan armor with the built-in augmenting helmet, both of his Desert Eagle auto pistols, a flare gun loaded with the Techno-Wizard ammo for Globe of Daylight, also a Techno-Wizard snare gun, which is another flare gun, both of his TW Thunder guns, all of which has been already activated using ISP. I already deducted all of that. Both of his silver longswords. And that's it. Oh, along with the holy water and stakes on a bandolier.
Okay.
He is not bringing extra ammo in clips or anything.
Okay. Got it. Cyber 6 would kind of hold up one of the silver crucifixes, and he said, now, the guy at the store said we had to do something to these. Did we get that done? Or is something we still have to do?
Shit. Do you guys think we have like 30 minutes? He's looking to everybody.
Whatever we got to do.
Savior kind of gives a shrug and says, I guess, but if we find out we're 30 minutes too late, that's on you, Isaac.
Yeah.
Don't me. Savior says it's a statement.
Yeah, you've
and it's
said
true.
that before.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, here, let's find a table and let's gather all of the crosses that have not been blessed yet onto a table.
Okie dokie.
Cyber 6 will tell the others to comply, and he'll say, I agree with Xavier. Time is of the essence, but if it's the difference between protection and not protection, I suppose it's more than worth it.
Oh, it's the difference. Because I completely forgot about that. He is going to take out one of the vials of holy water, and then he will proceed to, over the next 10 minutes or so, speak a very convoluted, or not convoluted, but long prayer in Latin over the crosses and sprinkle holy water on them. Is that fair enough to bless them, Squee?
Yeah,
or-
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cyber 6 will watch and he'll say, I was able to record that. Would that mean I could repeat the process if needed?
Isaac will just stare at him and go, "Are you Christian?
I'm Cyber 6.
Do you have faith, child?"
How am I listening to?
He kind of pauses like, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you're asking.
Then no.
Xavier also has his face scrunched up, thinking maybe he did permanent damage back on Siren.
Lucas goes, "Nah, I got this. Do you worship a man about this big?"
Oh my god.
Isaac will start cradling or face palming really hard.
Cyber 6 is like, very serious. He's like, no, I don't think I worship
Then
anything.
you're not a Christian.
Oh, is that bad?
That just means
I don't know.
that means that incantation will not work. Because you have to have
so
faith.
you have to be a Christian.
You have to have faith. Not necessarily be Christian, but for some reason, I mean, only crosses seem to work. As far as I know.
I see.
So, hey, you have crosses, you have Christianity, you get a priest, kind of like me, to bless them. Not an actual
You're
priest.
a priest? Xavier says, I don't know no stinking priest with that many guns. Are you supposed to have like a shaved head, you know, like the Zocarian Cloglodites?
Well, there was a wedding that needed to be done, and I kind of yeah, I'm a priest, I guess.
Okay, Your Holiness. Xavier says, I was a priest too, you know. Actually, I was more of a prophet. And Xavier's gonna give a derisive smile.
With that, Indigo will put the cross back around her neck, and it'll hang next to the golden amulet she wears, and she says, all right, well, no time like the present, right?
Mm-hmm.
Never understood that phrase Xavier says as he cocks his big-ass fucking gun.
Maybe it's because you're not a time cop like these guys.
Yeah.
Indigo nods, and she says, well, among the Corsairs, there's a theory that the future doesn't quite exist because it hasn't happened yet, and the past doesn't quite exist because, well, most of the time you can't touch it. The present's the only thing you have an effect on, so there's no time like it. Though we say it kind of jokingly given who we are.
I don't get it.
You know what? I'm
Xavier's
supposed to
gonna
be
say,
considered
"Listen,
Sorry, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Well, Xavier's he's just trying to get us back on track, so you finish up first.
I'm supposed to be considered a genius, and I don't get that either.
Xavier mutters something about passive aggressiveness before he says, so I'm not the one who first spotted these tracks. Maybe the ones who did should take the lead here.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So Isaac, do me a tracking check. Make it easier by 20 because Magnolia is going to be tracking them with you.
Sounds fantastic. So that is this number. What? I failed by 10.
Well, wait, did you subtract 20 from that? You just rolled a D100.
Yeah, my normal target is 64. So by making it easier, I bumped up the target to 84. Yes.
Got it. Okay. So you and Magnolia are able to track the footprints to the elevator. However, you run into a small bump in the road, which is the elevator goes both directions, up and
like
down.
Bisexual.
And as far as you can tell, you can't. There's no way to tell what direction the elevator went. At least when it was carrying your query.
This is where we split the party. so Squeeze, because I know what Squee was doing, and I fucked that up. so now we can go back on.
I don't mind.
So this is what happens. We get to the end of the road. Magnolia and I stare at each other for a bit. I go, yes, He's gonna turn back to the rest of the party. I have no fucking idea. Honestly, I don't know. I mean...
Well, since time's a factor, Xavier says, we got two options. We all go one way and try to pick up the trail, and if it doesn't show up, double back, or we split up.
Quiet. I take out Rapture.
Uh-huh.
Where do we go? Do you sense them?
There's like a moment of silence in your head, and Rapture's like, well, I can sense them, but I don't right now. I could guess.
Please.
Well, and Rapture says in your mind, knowing what I know about them, if they are trying to breed and grow in number, they'll want to try and remain as hidden as possible until they're strong enough to openly confront. And Center, if you want to hide somewhere, the wastes are the perfect place to hide. But that's just a guess.
I say we go left.
It's down.
I say
Why do you say we go left? No, Televec, why do you say we go left? Did you see some tracks?
I just have a hunch.
You hear a voice in your head, a hunch? Really?
But there's a wall there. Do we...
Oh.
I mean...
Lucas, no. Hold on. He walks up to the wall.
No. You will hear a voice in your head. The wastes are the 3 levels below us.
Of course. 3 levels below.
Tell me your ways, wall. Open.
Magnolia looks at Isaac with this like, is he for real look?
Isaac
Xavier
is
looks
just
back
grinning
at her
and...
with a yes.
Isaac is just grinning and nodding his head and choking back laughter.
She kind of shrugs and sighs.
Just plops down in a cross-legged position, hand holding his chin like an ape trying to figure out how to peel banana.
Xavier will go over to the most quizzical-looking Corsair and say, I know. I felt the same way. I look the same way. He's weird as fuck, but you'd be surprised how helpful this is.
He turns to... Are you sure it's left? It clearly looks like a wall.
It's what Tal
Magnolia
said.
at that point looks back at Xavier and she goes, I don't mean to sound doubting, but...
Yeah, no, it's probably just a wall. This is so funny, though.
But wait a minute. Maybe they want us to think that it's just a wall. I mean, they are trying to hide after all. Why would you... I mean, if I was going to hide, I would make sure that no one would think the obvious.
Lucas.
Xavier looks at his vampire cross. Is anything happening to it?
Nope. Nothing's happening to it.
Pretty sure they're not behind the wall, Tal.
Yeah, and I don't sense any in the immediate vicinity.
Magnolia kind of pinches her fingers between her nose and she's like, you said the wastes, right, Talavac?
Did he?
3 levels below.
Yes.
How-
The wastes consist of levels 9, 10, and wait. She like looks up. I only know of 2 levels below us.
Well,
Well,
the
I
guy-
was 3.
You get okay. Talabek, in your mind, you get in a sense, immense sense of satisfaction, maybe pride.
Stupid
That kind of
sword.
that kind of feeling you get when you knew the right answer, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And no one
I
else in
kinda-
the class did.
Right. I loosen up and go, yes, 3 levels below. And then kind of like just with an assuring look on my face, like 3 levels below. We have to go there right now.
Lucas stands up. Is this like the left thing? Because this clearly is a wall.
No, that's the wrong way. I just realized that. We go the other way. 3 levels below.
I do not believe you. You
Well,
just
listen.
told me to walk into a wall, and now you're saying there's a third level to the wastes.
Ha. Joke?
Listen,
This
Talabek,
is
how are you
little
getting this
important?
is it the sword that's talking to you, Talabek?
Yeah, well, I can't take all the credit here. I'm just trying to get some more input. I mean,
Thank
look,
you,
come on.
Rapture.
He's a magical, powerful magical item. Person
yeah.
might be. He deals with this stuff, you know? I thought maybe his input would be useful.
And he's saying 3 stories down, and she is saying there's only 2, which means one of 2 things. He's got it wrong, or there's another level, right?
Probably
there's
the
only
latter.
One way to find out. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then let's figure that out. Let's go on the second level, see
Well-
if we can't find access to another one below.
Yeah.
All right, then. Are we good now? Can we go?
Yes. Let's go! And Isaac will press the button to call the elevator.
All right.
All right.
You all, the elevator is more than big enough to fit everyone. And
I like to think it's just barely, and we're all crammed together. I think it's really awkward, and there's like music playing, and you're just like, maybe it's like the little Spanish flea, but like the center version. We're all just like,
as the elevator goes down, Talavac, Rapture will speak with you and express a wish that you convey what's being told because he feels it may be important. But he mentions that the Splagorth have been in center for a long time, possibly longer than most other races.
Mhm.
And that the 10 levels that are on center are the 10 levels that have been, quote unquote, discovered. That no one has really ever discovered just how far down this ancient structure goes. But that there is a third level, an 11th level, if you want to call it, that the Splagorth did find and kept hidden because they used it to conduct their most secretive business. However, that was many thousands of years ago. And while few people know of it, those who are desperate enough and dedicated enough can sometimes find passages to it.
Okay. For the sake of redundancy, on the
Mhm.
way there, I just say what you just said to
All right.
the
Okay.
group. Yeah.
The Corsairs are a little bit impressed. It's clear by now, like at first, like there were some looks of, oh, and now he's talking to a sword. But with that kind of information, the looks are turning more into respect. They've been around. They know what magical items are. So it takes a good 20 minutes to get down to the 10th level. And it's not because it's so far down, it's because this elevator moves very slowly compared to what you're used to. It's not well maintained. And
I think we're heading down to Silent Hill.
well, when the doors open up, you are immediately met with a stench of rotten decay. The area around you is very gloomy. There is a light you can see, but it's the type of light that's on the darkest overcast day. Think of the time you can remember where the clouds were so thick that the light was the dimmest. Think that.
Okay.
All around you, you see, heading directly from the elevator, you see a it's not a road, it's more of a path, a beaten path that winds into what are ruins. What maybe were once buildings lay in rubbled heaps. There is trash and rubble everywhere. The stench assails your nostrils that obviously there is or was something organic here at one time. You can see rats and other creatures scurrying around, and you can even see what look like maybe flies or other insects buzz around this pile and that pile, but they seem to be all over the place. In addition to that, there excuse me, unlike center that is kept at a balmy 72-ish degrees, or 79 degrees, I think is actually what's kept at, but a very comfortable temperature. Here, it's actually a little bit warmer than you're used to. Not too warm, but not like blazing hot, but warm enough that after a little bit of time, you start to get a little uncomfortable, except for those who are, in your fully enclosed temperature regulated suits.
It would almost be like a tropical area at night.
Right. Like, well, here's a good indication. You start to, after a few minutes, you start to see like little beads of sweat kind of beating on Indigo and
Okay.
Magnolia's face.
The humidity in the I got you.
And and in relation to that too, there is a thin but noticeable kind of mist that rises from the ground, kind of covering most things. It's not hard to see through. In fact, it doesn't really even go up past your ankles, but it is certainly a very humid and misty type of environment.
I got like a weird, like almost like a horror dungeon kind of look to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Very much so. Honestly, that at the bottom of center, though, that picture for the level 9 to 10 waste, that is very, very close to what I'm describing. In the distance, you can see ruined bridges and things that used to be great structures but are no longer. So
okay,
this is basically what you're seeing.
So that would be an accurate representation right there.
Yes,
in the
very accurate.
Okay.
So like I said, very accurate. And I can tell you at the moment, none of your crosses are glowing. Isaac, you don't sense anything. And
one more question.
Mm-hmm.
One more question. What is the distance between the ground and the ceiling?
About 100 feet. So very, very short compared to the rest of the levels, but still, I mean, 100 feet is like 6-7 stories, I think.
10.
Yeah, so about 10 stories. Compared to the rest of the... Oh, no, wait. I'm so sorry. Give me a second. I want to be correct on that. So if you don't mind, give me just one moment.
Yeah, take all the time you need.
100 feet seems a little shallow.
Oh, actually, I think it's going to be less than that. Like I said, give me one moment. Let's see here. Oh, I'm sorry. I was incredibly wrong. It's very low. The ceiling is only about 20 feet above, 20 feet from the ground.
Oh, wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Compared to the other levels, damn.
Yes, exactly. Compared to the other levels, it feels very cramped in here. There are so I do need to amend things a little bit. You don't see great tall structures in the distance. In fact, with that kind of ceiling, you wouldn't see very far at all, given the rubble.
Okay, approximately how far ahead of us can we see?
You can see, I mean, like the light's not a factor to the point where it hinders your view where you need night vision. So you can still see a good, 300, 400, 500 feet or so.
Okay.
I got an idea.
But not a big horizon distance.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
I got an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the lead and use my scanner.
It's not for me to comment on. Yeah, that's for everyone else.
Sure.
I don't mind. You go ahead.
Yep.
Oh,
Whatever.
Okay. Well, I actually put the cart before the horse here. I wanted to take the lead, but I wanted to see if I could use the scanner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because I want to help map out some sort of place. You know what I'm saying? To
Right.
where to walk to. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let it pulse out and just map out, a place to walk.
Okay. It actually is fairly helpful because the path that stretches out from the elevator almost immediately splits off in many directions, and there's nothing here that could be considered a road, more like pathways through the rubble. And your scanner allows you to find dead ends before you waste time traveling down them.
Yeah.
So it can help you find a path. While it's not a very straight path, it winds and twists and turns.
Right.
You are able to avoid dead ends and collapsed areas and things like that.
That's exactly why I thought of it, because this is a dangerous area, and you never know what kind of old traps that might be around here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Good idea.
the weakening structures of things, you could fall through something, and it'd just be a disaster. So with this, it'll help us out in avoiding those things, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
yeah, that's what I do.
Okay. All right. If you could, Isaac, roll me another tracking check with easier by 20. Oh, yeah, he had to be right back. All right. In that case, guys, I'm going to be right back too. Give me just a moment.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Well, I'll BRB.
My crosses.
I know, but it is fair. He did say this amount of time, right? So we had to either negotiate time versus preparedness. It's kind of how that worked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a very good chance that we show up and all of them are dead anyway, right? But our characters don't know that, right? We can't expect that. We have to do our best, and
either dead or alive.
You're coming with me.
Yeah. we would definitely have to deal with the vampires,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if they show up dead, then we still gotta hunt the fuckers down, right? In this golden orb stuff. So I bet you there's still gonna be plenty of opportunities to use your cool ass swag, Piph. So, but yeah, no, I just had to put my suggestions in character, which is like, listen, like Sarah came to it wasn't just a coincidence that Sarah had this problem with her mom, and now there's some time problem that's connected to us. The vampires are connected to us in the Corsairs. That's for damn sure.
Right.
So we have to. It'd be very strange that we didn't treat something important in game without a sense of urgency, right?
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when you're dealing with something like this, because you just can't pick up a gun and run.
Yeah, like I said, and like I say in Skype, I doubt these vampires are standing around playing fucking pinochle, cards.
Yeah.
They're doing some shit.
Yeah. I was just spitballing ideas, so I was just like, if it's outrageous, say it anyway. It might work. Who knows?
Never know until you try. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am back.
Hello.
Kitty's fed?
Hello. No, I had to use the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Squee's BRB right now,
Yeah.
so we took a small break.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do the same thing while we got the time.
Vampires take damage from running water. Would pissing on them work?
I don't think so, because it has to be water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not something that has water in it. Like, there's water in blood, but clearly vampires are fine with running blood, right?
Yeah.
They drink it.
Yep.
Water would be in the air.
The worst plot hole ever. I want to drink it, but I can't.
Why am I so thirsty? Well, I mean, blood doesn't have water, does it? It's mostly plasma.
All
Well,
right.
it does
Plasma
have
and
tons of water
platelets.
in it, though. Well, yes, but it does have water, H2O, in it.
Okay.
So,
And the plasma.
but hey,
Dollar
it's
water
vampires. Let's not.
Fuck,
yeah,
I
we
don't
have
know.
to- We're talking about things that regenerate. Like, I think it's like 2d6 hit points every melee. So, explain that science.
Yeah, every melee action.
They're supernatural creatures, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
They don't need to be explained by science. That's the whole idea. Supernatural means beyond nature, right? Above nature, actually. Supra means apart from nature.
Oh, science just got owned.
No, they didn't get owned. It's just the supernatural.
It's like the scientists are going,
Of the natural world. That's
it's
the
fine.
whole concept. I mean,
Yep.
talk with the Greeks. They're the ones who came up with that concept.
All
What
right.
if it's supernatural.
So,
Yeah, the concept
Isaac.
of a supernatural thing. Yeah. No, Catalvac's gone now.
okay.
Oh no, I'm back. I'm back.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back.
Hi. Isaac, if you could roll me another tracking check easier by 20.
Okay, so it's the exact same roll.
Indeed, sir.
That'll be 84.
All right.
Wow, I make it.
You are able to pick up the tracks. Okay, so this place is filthy, and there are tons of tracks. Some human size, a few a little bigger, most much smaller, as in hundreds of rodents or rodent-like creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Just trash scavengers, things like that. But you are able to pick up the tracks long enough to get a general direction before they become lost in a jumble that becomes almost unreadable.
I see.
So you guys start heading that direction using Talavac scanner to avoid dead ends.
I do believe that is the appropriate action.
Dead ends, pitfalls, traps, other unnecessary structural scaries.
How can I move Talavac? I'm putting him down here.
Talavac is what we call open source character. No. So as you guys are walking, keeping your eyes around, Cyber 6 will speak up and he'll say, "From what I understand, most of the people down here are trying to hide from something. So might not be the worst people you've ever met, but they might not be friendlies either. We just keep our eyes out. Even if they're not vampires, doesn't mean they'll be happy to see us."
Mm-hmm.
With that, you guys travel down the pathway for a good half hour. You've gotten maybe a mile and a half from the elevator. And you start taking steps. You're walking, and all of a sudden, Isaac, you sense.
I get a headache, and I have everybody stop. Okay. I'm starting to get a headache, which means there are vampires within a quarter of a mile. I don't know specifically what direction or how many. If I recall correctly, just give me a second.
Correct. Yeah. You can't pinpoint them, but you know that they're within that distance.
Yeah. So, I guess we can keep going forward and see if that will make the headache worse. What do you guys think?
Well, you're our gauge, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You're the fucking vampire hunter, holy man, Xavier says. I'm just here along for the ride with a bit of backup as he clutches the end.
Both hands.
tighter.
Cyber 6 would tilt his hat up a little bit and he'd say, "Well, what exactly are we here to do? Are we reconnaissance? Are we hunting and killing? I mean, because that could depend on how we approach this."
Hunting and killing.
So we want to draw them out. Maybe my group hangs back a little ways so that you look like less of a dangerous target, but close enough to hit them when they hit you. Or vice versa. I suppose it would be only fair to draw straws or something.
Yeah, that sounds good. Are you okay with that, Xavier? Would you like to hang back with the rest of the Corsairs?
This is when Xavier realizes saying "fuck these Corsairs" was not maybe the wisest thing in the world. Xavier pauses for a moment and says, "Okay, sure, but we'll be in close contact, right? If shit goes down, we'll be right behind you."
Magnolia nods. She goes, "We'll be within eyesight."
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
good. Then you, all right. Sounds like a fine plan. You don't need me lousing things up. I'm not swift of foot or anything like that. I'm just a good talker, and sometimes I come up with a good idea or two, and that's not going to help in this situation.
Way to be positive there, Xavier.
Lucas starts like silently like tapping his palms together. He goes, guys, can I be the distraction this time? I can draw them in.
I think that's a good idea.
Sure. Do it.
Xavier, you hear Magnolia, or you don't hear, you see Magnolia motion like you towards her. And she says, "You can stick by me."
Great. Xavier will do so.
She'll like pause for a second and she goes, "But if I end up saving your life, you're buying me a drink."
If you end up saving my life, I'll buy you the fucking bar, Xavier says.
She raises an eyebrow at that.
And the funny thing is that Xavier can totally back it up. He's like a millionaire.
Yeah.
He's Bruce Wayne.
Kind of.
Basically.
Except Batman. I'm like the Bruce Wayne part of Batman. I'm not... See, it's weird. Xavier has his own type of courage, in a way. But this situation is not one of those types of courage.
Right.
You see Cyber over there, over a little ways off, and he's all business. He's like, "Magnolia, you stay back with them too. You take charge, work with Xavier if anything needs to be done independently. I'm staying up with them. I'm not going to ask them to be in that kind of danger and not be there myself." Okay, hang on. Sorry, lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
You do see Magnolia start to say that she's... I'm not Magnolia. Gosh, Indigo say that she's going to start to be there too, but Cyber waves her off, saying that if the back group is attacked, like, don't underestimate. I'm not going to talk. My NPCs talk to each other. Basically, the gist is we can't underestimate them. What if they attack you first? We need a heavy hitter with them too. So he convinces Indigo to stay back with Xavier and the rest.
If you want, you can have Isaac do that.
Do what?
Try and convince her.
Oh. It wouldn't be necessary. When Cyber 6 gives an order, she obeys.
Okay.
So. But with that, what happens is those in the front group, which I'm assuming is Lucas, Isaac, Talavac, and Cyber 6, will be about 100 to 200 paces in front of the rest of the group. And the rest of the group will be following behind, but basically trying to prowl, like hiding behind rubble, keeping a low profile, staying quiet, etc.
Yeah.
And Xavier, I am going to have you roll a prowl check, but I want you to make it easier by 30 for a couple of things. One, low light, lots of rubble to hide behind, and two, Magnolia is going to be like, unless Xavier chooses not to, but keeping you close and kind of pointing where to go and don't step on this and that kind of thing.
Okay. Before I roll, Lucas has a thing.
Yes, Lucas.
Can I have a different plan?
Sure, absolutely.
The drawing out method thing, would it be good to actually have the back group stay back and not follow us up, and we can just basically have them come to people already generally ready for like a fire squad, that sort of business, or?
So if I understand correctly, like the back group prepares an ambush and the front group leads the vampires to it.
Yes.
You guys are more than welcome to. Yeah.
Sure thing.
Cyber Six is saying out orders, but he is obviously trying to be cooperative here. So anything you guys want to do,
I think I think that work. I think that'll work.
Yeah. Maybe see the vampires, have them try and tail us, and run backwards towards the other group.
Well, in order for us to make sure you guys aren't going back a couple miles, the rear guard, the ambush group, is going to have to creep up from time to time to kind of keep, within a reasonable distance of you guys. You know what I mean? I'm not saying maybe necessarily within visual range, because that's not much of an ambush, right? But if you guys go, because we don't know how far these fucking vampires are, right? Or where they are.
Quarter mile at most.
Yeah, geez, but running a quarter mile, you can't do it in 3 seconds, right? So it'll take entire melee rounds for us to get to you. And by then you could be swarmed.
Yes. Yes. I think generally coming up with you guys is a good idea, but generally keeping it far enough back that
400 feet, maybe?
Wait a second. Squee, could I use my detect ambush skill to, in a weird reverse way, to determine what a perfect distance for an ambush would be in this particular environment?
Sure. Go ahead and roll me that skill.
Okay. So let me just clear out the prowl check I was going to make. Yeah, I succeed by 22.
Okay. So then, yeah, Xavier would know that in a typical ambush, and he's more of a smuggler, not a soldier, but when it comes to sting operations, when the law enforcement is trying to do a sting, he knows that they are typically no more than, say, 100 meters or 300 feet away, usually across the street in a different building, but somewhere where they can... small sounds like talking and things like that won't be overheard, but you could dash to your target in 15 seconds or so.
Okay.
Oh, I got an idea. I could stay in visual range with Xavier and use sign language. So we won't have to speak.
We also have radios that we can whisper. Yeah, but that's true. Xavier will just communicate 300. He says if law enforcement knows what they're doing, and sometimes they do, 300 feet seems to be ideal distance for response time and distance for silence.
All right, I can move super fast now. I got a sweet spell for it. Luke is looking very proud of himself while he's saying this.
Okay.
So, if you're worried about me getting away from him, that shouldn't be a problem. As long as I can distract. Good Lord, can I distract?
Yes, you can.
Hold on. So you can move super fast now because of a spell. You can move super fast because you're that dexterous, Talavac.
Yeah.
And you're a robot, Cyber 6, so you can move super fast. I'm gonna be the slow one, aren't I? God dang it.
Cyber 6 is slowly nodding.
Although you're the one who can sense all this shit.
Yeah, I have to
and
go.
You're the range guy. You can knock the dick off of a fly at 100 paces.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that we can kind of spot them before they spot us and have you guys kind of move back, and I be the very loud, colorful distraction for them to follow.
All right, so we'll stay 300 feet behind as you guys try to draw them in towards the bigger group. Perfect, right?
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
All right, let's go with that plan.
That is what we do.
So now, should I make my prowl check with the easier by 30, Squee?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, so easier by 30, so minus 30, and it's completely and utterly unskilled. But I get a 1.
Whoa! Legendary prowl check. Okay,
dude,
legendary prowl check.
All right.
I'm a quick learner.
Where the hell did Xavier
Actually, that's
go?
exactly how I'm going to go with this. Something about either you're a quick learner, something clicks. Maybe it's Magnolia's instruction. Something about it happens that in the, say, however long you were skulking back there, things make more sense. This kind of shadow is better than that kind of shadow. This type of stepping with my foot's better than that type of stepping with my foot. If you could, please raise your prowl skill by 5%.
I don't have one, so should I get a prowl skill?
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, man.
Yes.
As
Get
a
a prowl
secondary
skill
skill?
at base?
Yes, get a prowl skill as a secondary skill.
Wow.
And just be at the
Wow.
base. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
maybe it was just a savant moment, but it makes sense to you now.
All right, so prowl for you is 25% and 5% per level.
Great, thank you.
No worries.
Sweet.
He rolled a skill, everyone. Like literally.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll take it. Oh my god, I have prowl. What a
All
good
right.
teacher. I might buy her that bar anyway now.
Now, I hate to do this
Yeah.
because we're working up to this, but we don't have time to
Yeah.
play out what's going to happen next, whatever that is.
Okay.
Because we've got like 8 minutes.
Oh shit.
So is it okay if we end here? I know this is like a horrible place to end it.
No,
but
no, no,
yeah.
no.
The other
no.
alternative is more Sweeney say, no, Squee, you don't get
Yeah.
to sleep now. Tell us what happens. No, we'll have to end here. That's fine.
No, but the
And-
best part about it is that next session we could just jump right into initiative or whatever.
Very true.
you know
Well,
what
very
I'm
true.
saying?
And I will say this: this will also give you an opportunity if you guys come up with a different plan or a modification or
exactly.
something else to it. By all means, we can do that. So we'll start next week with Lucas preparing to distract people, not just
Ah,
people, evil people.
things.
I'm hoping to be a very colorful lure.
I can't wait.
Do you have blood?
Man, do I have blood.
Oh.
He's the best at being blood.
And it is pretty tasty.
It's like cognac. All right, fellas. Awesome build up. Can't wait till next week. I'll catch you guys later.
Okay,
Mhm.
I'm going to
Okay.
stop the recording there.
Okay.
Boop. And
All
it
right.
stopped. So I'll see you later, Dave.
I'll see you later on. Everyone out there in the world, see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You still streaming?
Yeah. Do we want to stop it or?
Yeah. So say bye to the stream. Bye,
Yeah,
everyone.
thanks for watching, guys.
Oh, bye now. Oh, Riffs tomorrow.
Yes,
we
Rifts
have,
tomorrow.
Those who are watching, we have Rifts tomorrow. We've rescheduled our Sunday game for a Thursday game,
Yeah,
so all of us can play.
just for this
Yeah.
week.
Just for this week. Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Well, bye, everyone.